but that's not what she says. Okay, what she said was, and I'm going to tell you, okay, because the word seizure, okay, in Carney talk is loaded with Z's. It's very hard to say in seizure, right? So it's like
Can you say it to us right now?
seizure, seizure. There's too many Z's in there.
So if you don't mind saying, blame it on the seizure. Go ahead and say it in that language if
I'm
you don't
afraid to
mind.
do that because what if they edit and snip a soundbite and plug it into
All
other
right,
things? Like I
that's
don't
fine.
trust
That's fair.
anybody.
Uh-oh. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems like the Sharilla family may have squeezed a little too much toothpaste out of the tube this time. You know, they went on the Netflix documentary, made an absolute fool out of themselves. They went on TMZ, made an absolute fool out of themselves, and now it really stirred up the pot in terms of what people want to see. A lot of people got really curious because they went on those documentaries and tried to sweep a lot of things under the rug. The Streisand effect, ladies and gentlemen, is undefeated. You can't beat it. The second you try to sweep some under the rug, change the narrative, try to make people look away, people look harder. They could have shut up. They could have really shut up and everybody forgot about her. But no, they had to come and rehash it and reclaim their narrative. And now, ladies and gentlemen, there is a multitude of calls being released. 97 new calls are on the way, ready to just flood the internet. Ain't that some shit? And now, because of this, and I know it's because of this, and now, because of this, the family is going into absolute panic shutdown mode, okay? Code red in the building. They are posting probably 3 times a day on the Free Mackenzie website or the page on Facebook. And now we even have Natalie Shirilla coming on to podcasts saying her piece. This is why this is happening, folks. These calls have not been fully released yet, but people know they're coming. Natalie knows they're coming. Natalie's a YouTube fanatic. I know she watches all types of YouTube true crime. She knows they're coming, and she's trying to get ahead of this by any means possible. We're about to go through this interview with Natalie Shirilla, folks, on the JFK podcast. Shout them out because I don't know how the hell they were able to land this shit. They had to play softball, I am sure. But they landed an interview with Natalie Shirilla, and it is cringe. The amount of times that Natalie takes her glasses off and she's like, hold on, I'm about to cry. I'm about to cry again. Just wiping skin. Shit is crazy. The amount of times you're going to see that happen in this video, it might make you go to the bathroom and puke. But anyways, we got a lot to cover, folks, this week. Let's get into this. So this is like a 3-panel podcast. I've never heard of them until now, right? And I believe these gentlemen are coming through with fresh ears. I'm not sure if they've really been covering the case as we have. So they just, they might not know as much as we know. But let's shout them out once again for landing this interview. Natalie joins up at a certain point. She joins in and they start their introductions. I want to start right there. At the very beginning, you're going to understand why this interview is going to be a train wreck. Let's do it.
Hello, Natalie.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Nice seeing you on this Saturday. So, Natalie, first and foremost, I want to say, sorry for your loss with Dom. I know you knew Dom and you knew Damien. So sorry for your loss and what you're going through. I know it's tough. And thank you for being here and taking your time, first and foremost.
I'm probably going to cry a whole lot, so sorry in advance. I'm going to try not.
I'm not going to nitpick too hard, too crazy, too early. But just seconds into that video, you guys will probably already notice something. She was about to do her little cry move. It's called an ultimate. Like in a video game, it's a power move. It's like a power move that you could use in a time that you're in a pinch. She saw that they brought up Dom off the bat, and she was about to use her power move. Oh, we're sorry about your loss for Dom. We knew you knew him. And then she looked up and realized that they kept talking and it wasn't her turn to continue crying. It's a fabrication, I promise. But anyways, let's continue.
Hello, Natalie.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Nice seeing you on this Saturday. So, Natalie, first and foremost, I want to say, sorry for your loss with Dom. I know you knew Dom and you knew Damien. So sorry for your loss and what what you're going through. I know it's tough, and thank you for being here and taking your time first and foremost.
I'm probably gonna cry a whole lot, so sorry in advance. I'm gonna try not to though.
That's all right. That's all right. Like I said, on this channel, we're not see me. The reason why this case, I'm going to be real with you. I didn't really know much about this case back in 2022. You know, I heard about it here and there on Court TV and on the internet, on TikTok, popped up through the feed. But obviously, with the Netflix doc that just came out, it kind of put another fire underneath it. So here we are. But to me, it's just, I just don't understand like the mindset of a juvenile where we're at. You know, with kids, these kids nowadays. You know, how old's Natalie? She's 21, correct?
Mackenzie, you mean Mackenzie?
Mackenzie, my bad.
Yeah.
Mackenzie.
If I put my glasses on, is the glare bothering you? Because I cannot see you without my glasses on. Is the glare okay?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
How old's Mackenzie? 21.
Mm-hmm.
She's 21. Yeah. So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Where did you grow up exactly?
Okay, so we're not going to talk about where she grew up. Basically, she grew up in a little town. Mackenzie grew up in Strongsville or whatever. She had the perfect life. She was the perfect daughter. That's what Natalie's going to say. So we're going to skip past that. But I do find it kind of hilarious that before we even get into this thing, right? Before we even get into it, she's letting them know, oh, I'm sorry, I'm probably going to cry. I'm probably going to cry, just so you guys know. I'm just going to cry. So, oh, man, the energy makes me uncomfortable. It makes me feel like it's like static. You know those old TVs that give off static and you get close to them and your hairs stand up? That's the type of energy she gives me. Like if I get close to her, my hairs might start to stand. Let's continue, though. We're going to skip past all the hometown fuckery because we don't care about that, do we? Okay? So now we move over to what Mackenzie was like in school, from like younger to high school, and you're gonna notice a common theme. Let's do this.
Like pretty.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So let's travel on a little bit. So how was she going to school? Was she into sports like when she was younger, say like elementary school? Did you guys have her in sports, or like what type of kid was she, if you don't mind?
No, that's okay. So we tried a couple things. We tried volleyball. That wasn't her thing. We did ballet and tap and stuff, and she kind of liked that, but she wanted to do that more with like friends and stuff. She really likes karate, right?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she loved karate and that whole thing. So yes, that was her favorite thing.
And she had no problem with school? Did she get into fights or anything like that? How was she? She work and play with others good?
So it's not. She didn't. She had challenges. Okay.
She had challenges. Oh, I love how she said she had challenges. What type of challenges? We're gonna continue. But you know, this is. I'm gonna tell you one thing. We're gonna continue. Parents, you'll know when kids start getting bad. There's a point in time to where it seems to, from me witnessing other parents, right? I'm not a parent, so don't come after me. But me witnessing other parents, there comes a point of time to where that innocent little beautiful wonderful baby turns into a fucking asshole, right? A little bit past toddler age, they start trying things, they start trying you, they start breaking, they start throwing temper tantrums. If you don't level that out at that age, they're going to turn into monsters. Real life demons. And this is what Natalie, in my opinion, messed up on. Mackenzie was a wonderful little angel until she was like 5, 6, 7, and she kept just reinforcing that even when she had bad behavior. Listen to this.
There was a lot of fisticuffs with like teachers and whatnot. And I always used to tell her, like if her friend told her that she can't have something or her friend can't have something, she would stand up for her friend or herself and not like back down from that. So there was a little fisticuffs with teachers that way.
See, you see what I'm saying? What type of teaching is that? Let me back this up a little bit. What type of teaching is that? If you're told no, make sure you do whatever you can to get it anyway. What type of teaching is that? Now, there's one thing to be like, if you're told no in life and you feel like your aspirations and your goals can be, you can do whatever you want, kid. That's not the type of vibe I'm getting from her. Natalie literally is telling her daughter, when you're told no, that's their problem. You should get everything you want, because you deserve it. That's some fucked up parenting.
Teachers and whatnot. And I always used to tell her, like if her friend told her that she can't have something or her friend can't have something, she would stand up for her friend or herself and not like back down from that. So there was a little fisticuffs with teachers that way. Uh-huh. But she had a mouth, so she used to get in trouble for her mouth quite often, but not like fights.
Now, was she like her friends at school? Were they the same? Did she keep the same group of friends from like elementary to junior high to high school? Were they the same group of friends like throughout?
Yeah, she stayed pretty friendly with all of them throughout. Mm-hmm.
And how are they feeling now about this whole situation? Is it divided or?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm giving everybody their space. Everybody's allowed to feel how they feel. It's okay.
That's great. Yeah, definitely. So. Now, when she was young, there was no diagnosis with anything like that. Did you ever take her for like an evaluation or anything like that? Did you see anything like that might have been offered her? And I mean that with all due respect.
No, that's okay. She's always had like anxiety. Like who doesn't have anxiety in today's world though, right? So that's not like super uncommon. But So we were trying to
So
get
they're leading up, right? So she's being a little bitch to the teacher. She's probably like, I'm just guessing, I'm just assuming. She's probably like 12, 13, 14. She has to go to counselors for behavior issues. She has a mouth on her. She's getting older, right? But now they're talking about mental issues, maybe diagnoses and shit like that. They're trying to get over to the central defense that the family has for Mackenzie, and that's that Mackenzie has POTS. POTS, I forgot the acronym. I'm gonna throw it up on the screen. But POTS is basically a syndrome to where like the blood comes from your head, from your butt. I might jack it up. Blood basically pools down on your feet, and then when you stand up, you kind of pass out and you get dizzy. You get dizzy and you pass out, right? They're claiming that Mackenzie had that condition and she passed out behind the wheel behind the car because she had POTS. The blood was pooling and she passed out, and that's that. The only thing about POTS is you have to be in the sitting position to standing position for it to happen. You can't just be sitting and all of a sudden be like, so how did Mackenzie have that happen when she was driving the car? So I'm just saying that because this is what they're trying to ease into. They're trying to ease into the POTS question because they're talking about, oh, was she depressed? How was she good with, blah, blah, blah. And then they're trying to get to the real question that they want to ask. Let's keep going.
her some anxiety meds. And then I was like, well, maybe it's maybe ADHD, which is also not unsuper common.
Actually, let me back this up because y'all say I be yapping too much. So let me give you the full context of the question. Here we go.
Take her for like an evaluation or anything like that? Did you see anything like that might have been off with her? And I mean that with all due respect.
Well, no, that's okay. Well, she's always had like anxiety. Like, who doesn't have anxiety in today's world, though, right? So that's not like super uncommon. But so we were trying to get her some anxiety meds, and then I was like, well, maybe it's ADHD, which is also not unsuper common with kids today because there's so many distractions, right? And the devices are constantly going off with notifications, and we live in a on-demand world, right? So you don't have to wait for anything. Everything's like right at your fingertips, and it's constantly being distracted and pulled from everything. So I was trying to get her to maybe see if it's that or something. So I never got to finish with that part, but so just like anxiety,
Anxiety.
Yeah.
Did she see a doctor for that? The anxiety?
So yeah, she always talked to somebody with like tools on how to help cope with anxiety and everything and process and stuff. So she did okay with that.
What about the behavior? Like you said that she had this, like sometimes she had these behavioral issues.
It's kind of funny. She talks like she's at a job interview. She had a little behavioral problems. She took a little bit of that. It's like she's at a job interview. What are you trying to do at a job interview? You're trying to convince them of something. She's trying her hardest to get ahead of these phone calls because she knows it's about to make her look way worse. And the crowd of people who are interested on this go round is probably double or triple. So she knows the shitstorm is coming, and she knows it's because of her. Let's keep going.
Did she see like anybody for that, the behavior?
No, she didn't. Like behavior history was like,
Oh, we're watching this in fast speed. Let me slow it down.
what?
Like I'm just when she like got in trouble with the teachers or anything like that, like talking back and things like that. Was that part of when she went to go see the doctor for the anxiety? Was that part of it? Was it all bunched in together?
So she went to go to a counselor for that who would try to
counselor.
those tools and stuff like that. But like, it's not that she was wrong in how she was feeling. Because remember, everybody is allowed to feel how they feel. It was how she coped with it and dealt with the situation. Remember, she's like 15, 16,
right,
teenager at the time. So we were trying to hone in your skills on how to deal with those kinds of situations,
Now, was she in regular classes at school? Because I know where I'm from, like if you mess up, they have like alternative schools,
because we all know Mackenzie was dumb as fuck. Let's keep it a bean. You think that bug face creature was making A's or B's or even C's? That girl was a prime D+ student. She was a D+ warrior. I know a D+ warrior when I see one. Motherfucker asked her if she was in any special classes. I wouldn't be surprised.
And things like that. Was she stayed in the regular part of the school?
Mhm.
Oh, and she had good grades or decent grades and made it right through, no problem?
When she applied herself, she'd be great.
I promise I didn't see this ahead of time. I got the cliff notes, so I didn't see that specific point. I told you she was failing. She was getting good grades and stuff. Natalie was like, okay.
Right? Just like any, well, I shouldn't say just like any normal, like the average teenager. Applied herself, she did really well, but she got average grades.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you hit the bumpy roads for sure as a teenager.
Hmm.
So what?
Bro said nice. But anyway, all right. So we're talking about medical conditions, and they're throwing her to softballs until we finally get to their big claim. Her pots made her murder those boys at 100 some miles an hour. So let's move over to that.
Now,
Uh,
within the with the the bench trial, it didn't seem like really the defense raised any they didn't really raise the concerns of Potts. I mean, was there any reason for that? I mean, is it just? I mean, how did you feel? I mean, how did you feel about her defense?
So my husband and I were not in the trial. Okay. I didn't get to see what he. I'm gonna cry again. I'm sorry.
that's all right. Take your time.
Yeah,
Take your time.
Here's I'm gonna cry again. Number 2. Somebody, we should have a bingo checklist or something, or we should play a game every time she says I'm gonna cry. Now I do encourage you to go watch the entire interview on JFK because you'll probably get about 12. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Get the. I know this type of a mother. She loves her baby. That you can't take that away from her. But the amount of love she has for her baby is the same amount of disregard she has for anybody else. She don't give a fuck about them kids dying. Like, sure, because it affects her daughter. So that's sad because it affects her daughter. But the overall vibe in her brain is not real grief over those boys. She wants her daughter home.
Didn't get to see what he. I'm gonna cry again. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Take your time.
Yeah, take your time.
I didn't get to see what he presented and what he didn't present. Okay, until it was like too late, right? So
What
after
were you guys? You were witnesses? Is that the reason why
I
you
was.
weren't there?
I
Oh,
was.
okay. All right.
And then my husband was having health issues and like a giant mess over this whole thing, so he couldn't sit in there to like handle his health, and he just.
Yeah,
But,
understandable.
he was in there some days, right? But so at the end of the trial, hold on a second.
That's fine. Take your time.
Oh, okay. So
Look at him backseat driving. These two are they really do have like a what's the word? Not parasitic relationship. They have a symbiotic relationship with each other to where they're just together like that. They can't move without each other. They're just all. This is Mackenzie and Mackenzie's mom and her dad. Just can't fucking do that. That's why they act the same way. You notice they act the same way, right? Holy shit. He's over here like, no, don't tell him I had health issues. Don't make me look like a pussy. Mr. Shirilla, you did that by yourself. You did that all on your own. Don't worry.
so at the end of the trial, hold on a second.
That's fine. Take your time.
Oh, okay. So hold on a second.
On purpose.
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. No pressure.
He put me out of there on purpose. He didn't want me hearing what he was saying.
There was back and forth with that one, okay, because there was a little controversy with my husband, because at one point he told me that he might be a witness, and on the other side he might not. Like, he was kind of back and forth with Steve being a witness or not, okay. So, and he also has anxiety and couldn't handle a lot of the stuff, and we have severe PTSD. So there was some weird stuff going on with keeping him in or out.
They have severe anxiety. They got PTSD, RSP, GSD, and MPD. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got all that shit. All of it. Their pill cabinet probably looks like this. They just got them little yellow bottles with the white tops just lined the fuck up with straight bullshit. Allegedly. I don't know what they take. I don't know if they take anything. Just saying. I wouldn't be surprised.
Out of the courtroom. It was
Yep.
weird. Okay.
Yep.
So I didn't find out until after the trial that that Jim, her lawyer, didn't turn in her medical diagnosis. I don't know why.
So let me back up a little bit, right? Let me just back up because Kev took us right to the trial. I just want to go a step before that. So She gets arrested. She hangs out with the family, right? Did she ever tell the family that this could have been a medical episode prior to her getting arrested? Did she ever like mention that to them? Were they aware of that, or is
I
that
don't know what
something
her
that?
conversations were with them. I don't know.
So my next question would be, right, and that's fine. You don't have to
And we're
answer.
gonna cut it right there from that spot, right? She dismisses so often. She dismisses that question. Anything to where logic enters the chat, she dismisses it. You know, because you know that Mackenzie probably told them that. But I have something in the pipeline coming, so I'm not gonna spoil it yet. But I got something coming that probably most likely will prove that she was lying to the family, telling them all types of bullshit before they find out that, you know, this whole POTS incident popped up. But anyways, let's move forward. They go into speaking about Mackenzie's conditions presently. All right. We've been talking about her upbringing, you know, the night of the accident, all types of stuff. Now they want to know how Mackenzie's doing in jail. They want to know the comparison between jail, county, actual prison, all the details. And as evasive as Natalie is, they do manage to get her to answer some of these questions.
So they kept her in juvenile, and
Yeah.
then they. So she went from a juvenile facility where now what was that like? That juvenile facility, like where they treated her better? Was she be treated like a resident versus an inmate? Like was her mind was she a little bit more laid back? Like what was the difference between, if you could tell us, the difference between the juvenile facility through your lens to where she's at now?
The juvenile facility is where she's at now is way better in my opinion. I love the staff at the juvenile facility. They're so nice and they love those kids and I love them and I'm still staying in contact with them. They're
So no, so you're saying the juvenile facility was good versus the state prison?
I would assume.
well, there's three. There's
Oh,
the
there's
juvenile
three.
facility, county,
Okay.
and the prison.
County was
Okay.
probably tough
Okay.
for her.
So which
So-
so in the juvenile facility, what was her mind state like in that juvenile facility? Mackenzie.
That the truth will set her free.
Okay. And then
So we're just
so
holding
then
on to
she
that.
then she goes into the county. She goes to adult jail. What was that like? Did she ever like express like the change up from going to being around kids to adults? Like did she
It
ever
was scary. That was a very scary situation for her and me because you know you're in there with scary people, right? And some not, some are. And that was just a scary situation all the way around. A lot of unknown, you know, treading unknown waters. We have no idea what the staff is like. And you hear all these horror stories and you see these movies about what people have to endure when they're in that situation. And she's like an 18-year-old tiny little girl who got into a car accident and we're just holding on.
Boo hoo. Not the little small 18-year-old girl. You know, Crime Circus probably feels the same way. Oh no. Not the pretty little small 18-year-old girl. Why? Why her? Damn it. Prison is so tough. Right? But anyways, it gets even better because everybody has been trying to figure out what this language Mackenzie and her mom's been speaking. And Mackenzie's mom admits herself that, you know, they're speaking this Carney, Canary, whatever language. It's gibberish, right? And she tries to give us a translation to what everybody thought she said in the hospital bed when she said, "Can we just tell him that I had a seizure?" Right? Let's hear her explanation for the language and what they actually were saying. Even though we have a full one-to-one deciphering technique to decipher anything they're saying, let's see what she actually says they're saying, if that makes sense.
Hey, let me bounce a little bit back again. So you're getting a lot of pushback from the internet, right? And we know that Mackenzie was active on the internet, and and from my lens, from my perspective, I think that she thought that she was going to come out with the story and people would see it her way and it would be kind of like a free Mackenzie type thing, right? Which I guess, you know, there is a lot of people who say free Mackenzie too. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But do you understand where people are mad? Because when she was in the hospital, you guys were talking in some type of language. Now, where did she learn that? Did she learn that from you? Because that seems like something from our era, right?
It is. So
Yeah.
it's
It is.
like inbred in my family. We all speak it, like all of us, all of our lives. And yeah, so that came from it. It's called Carney Talk. And we just I don't know, it's just a part of who we are.
Now, when
So to all those in my comment section saying it's Carney, thumbs up. You were right. You were correct. I see you. I see y'all. I see all y'all saying that shit. I thought Carney was actually like a language, but then I looked it up and it was like gibberish the same. So I was like, oh, you guys are. I see y'all.
she said something like blaming it, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, because I'm sure you heard this question 1,000 times.
Okay.
But when she said something like blaming on the pots, blaming on my seizures, did she say that? Was that something that she said, or did they misconstrue
No,
it?
no. So the prosecutor, I guess in one of those documentaries, he says that what they're speaking right now is something like gibberish. And then what he says is, she says something like, can you tell him I just had a seizure? Let's just tell him I had a seizure. That's not what she says. Okay.
Mm.
That's not what she said. What
Well,
she said,
why were you guys talking like that to begin with, though? Like, is that something like, why did you
it's
guys
just
revert to that?
because it's just a thing because she was probably scared and didn't know what you can and can't say, right? So if you always tell, don't talk, don't talk to the police without a lawyer or whatever. And she was probably scared and wanted to make sure it's okay for her to talk, which is, that's okay. That's, in my opinion, that's responsible. You can ask me if you can talk. That's okay, right?
But why would you have to talk in code if you clearly blacked out? I would be volunteering as much information as possible. Anything that I could remember around the situation, because I know that I didn't do anything wrong. That's not even in my mind. I'm just thinking of everything I could think of before I blacked out. You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck would we ever have to talk Carney? Don't make sense.
You always say like, don't talk without a lawyer, right?
She said carny talk, like a carnival, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Like a
Yeah.
carnival, yeah. Well, we have a carnival around our way in Boston. It's been around for years. It's called Fiesta Shows. The bumper cars are still the bumper cars from 1975, but that's another story. I think they need to update their carnival. Fiesta Shows. Who's going to the? I'm still going though. I don't care if it falls apart. I'll still be there,
You
right?
should.
But yeah. So, but you can
Well, wait,
understand why the pushback
can I
is,
go
right?
back on? Yeah, I totally
You can
understand
say
that.
whatever you want.
But that's not what she says. Okay, what she said was, and I'm going to tell you, okay, because the word seizure, okay, in Carney talk is loaded with Z's. It's very hard to say in seizure, right? So it's
Can you say it to us right now?
seizure, seizure. There's too many Z's in there.
So if you don't mind saying, blame it on the seizure. Go ahead and say it in that language
I'm
if you don't
afraid to
mind.
do that because what if they edit and snip a soundbite and plug it into
All
other
right.
things? Like I
That's
don't
fine.
trust
That's fair.
anybody.
You don't trust the sound bites? You know what? We're going to put that 4819. We're going to put that as the beginning clip. You don't trust the sound bites? Oh, I wrote it down too. Mm-hmm. You don't trust the sound bites? Girl, come on now. You know you said that shit. You don't want to repeat it because it's going to make you look even worse. You know the sleuths and the analysts are waiting for you to say some of that shit again. I don't want to say it. They might soundbite it and snip it and make it sound weird. Okay. Thanks, Natalie.
That's fair. That's
I
fair.
just don't want them to do that to her or me.
No, I get
But
it.
if you
And I'm
listen
not
to
trying.
that sentence, there's no word. That word is not in that sentence.
Okay.
Okay.
So here she is now, right?
Anyways, all right. Let's move forward. We got more. We have more. Okay, because remember, now she's starting to get kind of cornered. She don't really like it. She's starting to put up a little defense. She's doing the Philly the shell. You know what I'm saying? She don't like it, right? So she's gonna resort to crying. Obviously. Hold on. This is like minutes later.
So I wanted to touch base first of all on the phone call. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Thank
so
you.
bad that people think I'm laughing and I'm probably gonna cry again, so forgive me. I'm gonna try not to though. I wasn't laughing. I wasn't laughing at the situation or the accident. Okay. I wasn't really laughing at all. In after the car accident, we had gone through so much, and the other families too, obviously. But we
Right.
had gone through so many like, oh my God, like what is happening? And so many scary, 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 dark moments in time, right? And all those times, like there were so many conversations before those phone calls that nobody knows happened, crying, looking at pictures of his phone, listening to his music, going through memories, so many phone calls of all of that, of us crying together.
Okay, all right. So you guys are crying. You guys are deeply distraught. Okay, them tears. I don't see no tears yet. That face is dry as fuck. But hold on. Hold on. Maybe those tears will start to pour a little bit. Let's move forward a little bit as she starts to open up about the love she had for Dom.
Families.
Since we're in that pocket, Natalie, let me ask you this: what was Dom like?
Oh my God, you can't do this to me.
I'm just, I think it's only right, that, you're talking about how, you wasn't laughing. So why don't you tell us about Dom and how you feel about Dom? This is your chance. If take your time, if you want.
Wow, that
I can't.
that paper is tattered and torn and crumpled, but I don't see no moisture. The moisture is lacking. Maybe they're in Arizona right now. Maybe it's a little hot. Maybe the tears are evaporating even though it's nighttime. I almost said 9 o'clock. Even though it's 9 o'clock, maybe the tears are evaporating because it's just really fucking hot.
I can't talk about them.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm in so much pain. I feel so bad for them.
You're in so much pain. Nice. Okay.
And that's understandable. That's
That's very.
understandable.
Go ahead, Kev, take it away.
I mean, when you lay down that phone call and how you
Listen, Kev don't know what the fuck to say because this drooling little idiot is over here fake crying on our podcast. Kev don't know what the fuck to say. Kev's over here like, shit, well, you want a cigarette? I could give you a cigarette. Here, shit, I don't know. Anyways, we're about to get up out of here, but I want to show you one more thing. They talk about Mackenzie's issues in jail because just like school, apparently she's having write-ups in jail, and many of them. Now, one of the write-ups I do believe involved a certain object that reflects an appendage of another gender that her and her girlfriends were doing or handling with one another, but that's just rumor. I'm not sure if that's true or not. So Mackenzie is known to be up to a little nefarious work every once in a while. Let's check this out.
Quick question: can you ask about her getting in trouble inside? She has a lot of D reports, write-ups. Is she getting in trouble in there? Is she doing all right? How's she doing?
Well, that's a tricky little thing. So unless you've been in there, you don't know how that works, right? So that report, somebody sent that to me and like, is this true? So that's just things that she's charged with, like things that she's being told she's doing. That's not things that she's not convicted of. A lot of that stuff
That's just things she's being told she's doing. It doesn't mean she's doing them. That just means they're telling her that she's breaking the rules. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't mean she's breaking the rules. Like use your head, JFK. Come on. Yo, this bitch is crazy, bro. This bitch is she done lost it, bro.
appealed and won because a lot of those things are baseless, which I'm sure you can imagine.
The write-ups
Yeah.
in there?
Mm-hmm.
Is she in now? Is she in general population in there?
Well, there's cottages, so they're all in like certain housing units.
Like a dorm? Like she's like a dorm setting? Like
Yeah.
bunks?
Yeah.
Like what you showed last night.
Yeah, what I showed. Yeah, I'm familiar.
Anyways, I'm going to leave it right there. Do check out JFK if you guys want to see the full interview, man. But this shit, they're in full narrative control mode right now. Full narrative control mode, trying to control the narrative because these calls are about to hit the streets and they're scared about it. But anyways, man, I'm going to see you guys real soon. Stay inside, stay safe. Keep your kids away from cars if they're on drugs and if they're mentally unstable. Just let them take a taxi. We have Uber now. We have self-driving cars that could pick you up and take you wherever you want to go now. Don't let these little shits get into the car if they're unstable like Mackenzie. I'll see y'all soon, man. Peace.